a missing teenage girl, a rising music star, and a shocking discovery that prosecutors say was hidden inside a phone. What began as a missing person investigation would eventually grow into one of the most disturbing and closely watched criminal cases in recent years. At the center of it all was 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez and musician D4VD, whose real name is David Anthony Burke. As investigators searched for answers about what happened to Celeste, they uncovered allegations, digital evidence, and court filings that would transform the entire case. What they claimed to have found inside devices and online accounts linked to D4VD would become one of the biggest revelations in the investigation. But to understand why, we first need to understand how investigators got there. Before we begin, help support this channel by liking this video, subscribing, and turning on notifications for more in-depth true crime documentaries and investigations. According to prosecutors, the relationship between D4VD and Celeste began years before her death. Court documents allege that communication between the two started when Celeste was still very young. As investigators dug deeper, they reportedly uncovered witness statements, messages, and digital records that they believe show the relationship continued over time. The allegations immediately raised serious questions. How long had the relationship existed? Who knew about it? And how much evidence was there to support what prosecutors were claiming? As investigators worked to answer those questions, they began collecting every piece of digital evidence they could find. Phones were examined, cloud accounts were searched, messages, photos, videos, and electronic records were reviewed. In modern criminal investigations, digital evidence can sometimes tell a story that witnesses cannot. Every message, every search, every file, and every account can leave behind a trail. And according to prosecutors, that trail led them to something significant. Months into the investigation, court proceedings revealed that authorities had recovered a massive amount of digital evidence connected to D4VD. Investigators reportedly seized devices and searched cloud storage accounts, gathering information that prosecutors say stretched across enormous amounts of data. Then came the revelation that generated headlines around the world. According to prosecutors, investigators discovered a significant quantity of child sexual abuse material stored within accounts linked to D4VD, including data recovered from his phone and iCloud account. The allegation immediately became one of the most discussed developments in the entire case. It's important to note that D4VD has denied wrongdoing and has pleaded not guilty. The allegations remain claims made by prosecutors and have not been proven in court. However, investigators argued that the discovery dramatically expanded the scope of their investigation. What began as a case focused on one victim was now raising additional questions about digital evidence, online activity, and the broader picture prosecutors believed they were uncovering. As authorities continued analyzing electronic records, they reportedly reviewed an enormous volume of data. Court proceedings indicated that investigators were examining evidence measured in terabytes rather than gigabytes, illustrating just how large the digital component of this case had become. The more investigators reviewed, the more complex the case appeared. According to prosecutors, the digital evidence helped them build a timeline of events. They believe that timeline provides important insight into the relationship between D4VD and Celeste and may help explain what happened in the months leading up to her death. Prosecutors have also alleged that Celeste may have been prepared to reveal information about the relationship. That allegation has become a significant part of their theory of the case. The defense strongly disputes those claims. Throughout the investigation, D4VD's legal team has maintained his innocence. His attorneys have argued that allegations should not be mistaken for proof, and that the evidence must be tested in court before conclusions are reached. That distinction is important. In every criminal case, prosecutors carry the burden of proof. Allegations alone are not enough. Evidence must be presented, challenged, and examined before a jury. As details from the investigation became public, interest in the case exploded across social media and news outlets. Millions of people began following every development, every court filing, and every new revelation. Many focused on the allegations surrounding the digital evidence. Others pointed to the ongoing legal process and emphasized that the case has not yet been decided in court. Meanwhile, investigators continued building what they believe is a comprehensive timeline supported by electronic records, witness statements, and forensic evidence. The case remains one of the most closely watched criminal proceedings involving a public figure in recent years. At its heart is the tragic death of a young girl whose life ended far too soon. For investigators, the goal is to determine exactly what happened and present the evidence they believe supports their conclusions. For the defense, the goal is to challenge those conclusions and test every claim made by prosecutors. And for the public, many questions remain unanswered. What evidence will ultimately be presented at trial? How much weight will jurors place on the digital evidence? And what role will the materials allegedly discovered on D4VD's phone and online accounts play when the case is finally heard in court? Those answers will only come through the legal process. Until then, the investigation continues to draw attention because of the extraordinary amount of digital evidence involved and the serious allegations surrounding it. As this case moves forward, one thing remains certain: the world will be watching closely. If you found this documentary informative, help support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and turning on notifications. Your support helps us continue producing detailed true crime investigations and bringing you the latest developments in cases making headlines around the world. Thank you for watching.